Actually, we anticipated this, and you won't believe that about maybe on the 26th, 27th and 28th, we did a simulation exercise at the behest of our army chief in the border areas, where we simulated drone attacks on the weapon system. But we actually wanted to our gunners and our operators to actually hone their skill and see how do you detect. So we started off at 5:30 in the morning, if maybe 26 was the first day. Yeah. So we started 5:30 in the morning, where we had multiple drones coming in to train our people.
One, I need to know about the air defense mechanisms which were used in and around that area. One, that. And the second is our attack out there in just 23 minutes, how we managed to get our targets on the first day.
You're talking with respect specific to?
When we targeted the terror bases, it was finished, the attack was finished in 23 days. Then when they responded, our air defense mechanisms, how we stopped both.
So, it's like this, that the Nagorno-Karabakh, Azerbaijan clash, Russian-Ukraine clash, and even to some extent the Israeli current conflict going on, taught us about the huge capability that drones have. And, we realized that Pakistan, by virtue of its back-end support from Turkey and maybe a northern adversary as well, had a plethora of drones. And we also knew that, in order to take on an effective air defense integrated system that we have, like the Army and the Air Force are integrated in this case, he would have to saturate us. So if you see his concept of employment, he would first send in low altitude, cheaper drones in large numbers to saturate your radars. And they would also force you to open up your radars. So I think it's very important that the army looked at, not emitting, so that we didn't give out our positions. Because the moment you gave out your emitter position, his next line of drones would come to hit the radar.
So what do you do then? You
switch it on at the appropriate time.
Okay.
So you switch it on when you realize that the target is within your gun range. You switch on the radar intermittently, slew your guns and engage the target. But if you continuously emit, that's what the drone is wanting you to do. Saturate your screen and then bring in someone from the rear, an armed drone, and then hit your radar as a kamikaze drone. So I think that the training that we did, actually we anticipated this, and you won't believe that about maybe on the 26th, 27th and 28th, we did a simulation exercise at the behest of our army chief in the border areas, where we simulated drone attacks on the weapon system.
So sir, April 26th, 27th, you carried out an exercise of a drone attack from Pakistan.
Yeah, it was not from the border, but it was internal, on the border. But we actually wanted to our gunners and our operators to actually hone their skill and see how do you detect. So we started off at 5:30 in the morning, if maybe 26 was the first day. Yeah. So we started 5:30 in the morning, where we had multiple drones coming in to train our people. So that, because if you have a saturation raid, and how do you react, and how do you not switch on your radar till as late as possible? And how does this information go laterally to people? How does the Army Air Defense, once it gets this information, proliferate this information to the infantryman who's there, or to the RT man who's there, so that everybody realizes there is a drone, and if he has a capability and the signals, and if he has a capability to engage that drone, how can he engage it?
So continuing with what Ajit asked, India was getting ready with its war machinery by end of April. We knew that there's going to be some kind of a proactive measure which India is going to take.
So, it's like this, that the air defense is a defensive measure. The air defense is not an offensive. The air defense is something where you protect your own airspace. So, by a trickle method, we gradually built up our air defense right along our western borders. I think so. That's how we actually got the troops familiar with terrain, because we initially deployed not on a VAVP centric mission that
Which
we
is
normally
what
do.
is that? What does that mean?
So what happens is that normally all air defense resources, because ours is a big border, we have about 3,500 border with Pakistan. So you can't have air defense right through. So you have vulnerable points, vulnerable areas which are pre-identified, which are allocated air defense resources. Like if you have an ammunition dump, or you have an airfield, or you have a logistic base, or you have even some population centers, or you have a temple like the Golden Temple. So you predetermine where you want to put these. Now some of these could be at the border, some of these could be 50 kilometers, some of them could be in the rear areas of the tactical battle area. So what we did initially is we pushed up as much guns as far forward as possible.